I'm August Jalakas. I'm here to talk to you about modern, postmodern advertising. Are you tired of religious social bonds? Do you think the city is too darn crowded? Well, come on down to Nietzsche and Similco for all your, no, keep the camera on me, for all your modern philosophical needs. In our modern lifestyle, we know that technology and urbanization are getting rid of all of the cool, qualitative stuff that we enjoy, like fishing. Go focus on the fisher people. Yes, good. Now back to me. In exchange for the numeric, quantitative city side of things. And it's all due to advertising, because advertising is forcing us to put on a protective layer of organs, not real organ meat, to protect us from the stimulation of everyday life. But there's a problem. You see, the internet is turning everyone into city people, and that's not good, because not everyone's prepared for it. That's why we here at Nietzsche and Similco, we believe in preparing people for the postmodern age. That's why you gotta be suspicious of everything. And then we'll do like a visual, like, woo. So in my previous case study, we discussed how post-contemporary advertisers utilize suspicion and consumer engagement to sell product. It's no longer some guy saying, you should buy our product because it'll make you sexy. It's more about getting consumers to react and then to engage with the advertisement. We see this, one example that I could think of was most recently a Burger King advertisement where they were advertising this new scholarship they had for women. And in the tweet, they said, women belong in the kitchen. So here's my question. Was this purposeful? I'm of the belief that any publicity is good publicity. And that's what this got. I wouldn't know about this ad if people didn't react negatively towards it. I wouldn't know about this new scholarship if Joe from Arizona didn't say, oh, this is awful, I can't believe Burger King would say this. And I think that's the goal. We discussed earlier, George Simmel, that the internet is turning everyone into an urban person. We've all begun to develop a protective shell against traditional advertisements. So postmodern advertisers must use a Trojan horse. They need to make it seem as though their advertisement is not an advertisement. They need to get your buddy in Arizona to sell it for you. So, McLuhan's and many of the Toronto philosophers expanded on this idea of the median as the message. Now, how does this relate to advertising? Well, the median that society has deemed appropriate to use at the time, telephone, radio, TV, now social media, determines how you can advertise. So, let's take television, for example. In television, it was a visual format. So, most of television advertising had a visual aid. I remember listening to a podcast where they were talking about Tickle Me Elmo. Now, Tickle Me Elmo, it's this doll that when you tickle it, it laughs. But the advertisers, the marketers, asked the creator, can you make it move? Because by itself, the laughing won't do anything. It won't sell. But having the product move does. Then if you look at radio, it's an entirely audio format. So you need someone with a luscious voice. You need audio stimulation. Then let's look at social media. How do you sell how do you advertise on the internet? This is where I'd say engagement comes along. Obviously you can use prior, like you could film and put your advertisement on your paid commercial, whatever, onto the internet. But where you really get it, where you really make the moolah, is when you use mass marketing. This is what we saw with Old Spice and their "The Man Your Man Can Smell Like" campaign. With this advertisement, we talked about it in my second case study. After they ran the commercial, they then had the actor go on and answer questions from the internet in character. And this was huge for the time because this had not been done before. And now they do it all the time. Social media allows the advertiser to not only advertise directly to the consumer, but have the consumer interact with the ad. We'll be back after this commercial break.
Hey there, I'm a super sexy man next to my bourgeoisie mega yacht that you'll never be able to afford. But if you drink Big Dick Energy Drink and tweet about us, you will be able to join our loyal community of followers. But maybe you think you're smart. Maybe you read. That's okay, because we avoid any contemporary suspicion by incorporating our commercial with cold media, forcing you to think and critique it with others. So buy Big Dick Energy Drink. God is dead, and we replaced him with an energy drink.
Hello, and welcome to the William DeBoard Barth Culture Lab. This is where we study the use of culture in advertising. Now watch out. We got a pretty hot piece of culture right here. Come with me, come with. So I'm going to show you what we've been working on here at the Culture Lab. Now, here at the Culture Lab, we use Raymond Williams' definition of high culture, which is essentially, high culture is the best of the best, is what we consider the best of the best. Now, I personally would define high and popular culture to Roland Barthes' myth. Similar to how a diamond is associated with the concept of marriage, high culture hijacks language to associate yachts and fine art with the elite. High culture is specifically chosen. It's nostalgic. While pop culture is new and unconsciously chosen by society. Now, there's this assumption that high culture is dying. This is due to the rise of the middle class and ease of accessibility. For example, the opera is no longer exclusive to the wealthy because I can use my disposable income to enroll in opera singing classes or utilize the internet to watch Phantom of the Opera. However, I would argue that high culture is being replaced. Instead of drawing attention to what rich people like, in Western societies, contemporary high culture is drawing attention to what smart people like. Now, some of the more iconic advertisements of the 21st century, such as the Old Spice ad, are satirical or rely on philosophical messaging to sell their product, such as Apple's 1984 advertisement. We'll fix it in post. Which implies that the smart, not brainwashed person uses Apple products. The goal of these advertisements is to avoid suspicion by making the consumer feel unique and smart for enjoying it. Engagement through gossip and rumors is one way of doing this. However, advertisers wish to create an authentic mythos surrounding their brand, without the consumer realizing the work put in to shape this mythos. By having a product be unconsciously chosen by the consumer and enter pop culture, the advertiser can more easily spread their message. Like an ideology, one cannot remove the product from the advertisement. For example, if I were to use deceptive detourment showing the original Apple and show the original 1984 Apple commercial within the context of the modern dystopian clean Apple store, we would be contrasting the imagery of rebellion with what we have today. The problem with this is that the brand would still be visible, even though we are changing it into something new. It is still selling the product. If I were to erase the Nike swoosh on one of their shoes, you'd still be able to recognize, hey, that's the Nike Air Jordans. The advertiser would still be getting their idea across, their pitch, their sales pitch. Anyways, that's the lab. We can cut it right there, bud.